Hello and welcome back. Alright, so in this lesson, I just want to share with you another way that you can dodge and burn, because the last two methods that I showed you how to do that with those dodge and burn tools, even though we did duplicate the background layer, we were still working on the image directly and affecting those pixels. So if we made a mistake and came back next week or next year and decided, you know what, we made a mistake, well, you have to duplicate the layer again and then reapply those adjustments. But this next method will allow you to work non-destructively more efficiently, because you can always go back and make adjustments to the new layer that we're going to create without affecting the underlying pixels of the image. So the first thing we need to do is create a new layer. Let's call it overlay. And what we need to do is we need to fill in this layer with 50% gray, and then we can paint with different shades of gray to add or remove our edits in specific locations. So the easiest way to add 50% gray is to go to our swatches panel, go up to Window, and select Swatches to get the Swatches panel, and then you can choose your 50% gray from here. The only problem is we don't know which one is exactly 50% gray until we change the size of these little squares here by going up and clicking on this icon and selecting Small List. Once you do, it will then give you the name of those little color squares. And right here we have 50% gray. And then with the eyedropper tool pre-selected, once you hover over it, you can click on 50% gray and that will fill the foreground color for that particular color. Now we need to add it to this layer. To do that, we're going to select the entire layer, and we can do that with our keyboard shortcut, which is Command or Control and the letter A. And then to fill it, we're going to use Alt or Option and our Delete key or Backspace key. Once you apply that, it will then fill the entire layer with 50% gray. Then we're going to deselect with Command or Control and the letter D. All right, the only problem now is we can't see our image. So now we need to go up to our blending mode and select Overlay. That allows us to see the image, and then we can paint with different shades of gray in order to dodge and burn. Now, the one downside to this is that the overlay layer that you're applying to your image will automatically increase the brightness of that photo when being applied above it. But we do have to place it above it. So this is, again, just a downside to editing this way. So there's a give and take between dodging and burning with this method versus the tools. So I'm just giving you another option to choose from to custom edit your images. But this isn't the only way. There are other ways as well. And as we go throughout this course, I'm going to introduce you to additional ways to dodge and burn. And then it's just up to you to decide which one will work best for you and your photos. So let's go ahead and grab our brush tool with the letter B. And let's say we want to make our water really dark. I'm going to use a soft edge brush at 0%. And then I'm going to choose a darker shade of gray. I'm going to select 65%. And then that will darken up the water. If I choose a lighter shade of gray, let's say 35%, that will then brighten up any areas that I apply my brush. So again, this gives you another option for dodging and burning and giving you a way to do so non-destructively without adjusting the individual pixels, even if you do create a duplicate layer of that background layer. Because now I can save this as a PSD file, and I can come back tomorrow, next week, next year, and continue painting with different shades of gray to edit what I did previously, and I can adjust it as much or as little as I want and do so non-destructively. Okay, so in the next lesson, I'm going to show you another way to dodge and burn, but this time we're going to use our gradient tool to do it. So if you're ready to learn a new method, I'll see you in the next lesson.